Hurry up
it.
and suck it. Like,
Suck it now.
first.
Suck it now.
Just tell the Big Lebowski to
yeah,
suck it.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nerd On, the podcast you didn't need, but you deserve, and where all levels of nerd are welcome. Hello. Sometimes there's a man. I won't say a hero, because what's a hero? But sometimes there's a man, and I'm talking about the dude here. Sometimes there's a man, well, he's the man for the time and place. I lost my train of thought, but anyway, I've done introduced him enough. Today, we are talking about my second favorite movie, because Paddington 2 is my favorite movie.
It's true.
Yes.
My second favorite movie, The Big Lebowski.
hell yeah.
I'm Joshua El Josherino, if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Now you can talk, Caitlin.
I'm Caitlin.
Ali.
And I'm Tom.
Who's...
Wow.
Oh my God.
Did you get it? Careful, man. There's a beverage here.
What did I miss?
We just introduced a podcast.
Oh, I'm Corey.
What's going on? And this episode is brought to you in part by the Nerd On Nation that is powered by Patreon. As a member of the Nerd On Nation, you do get fun stuff like early access to episodes like this mess. I'm just kidding.
It is quite
I hope
nice.
you guys really appreciate this, but
I just can't
Tastes
see.
really good, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, for our listeners not seeing what happened, Corey walked into frame with a little white Russian.
Yeah. So,
Turns out,
anyway,
YouTube.
as a member of the Nerd On Nation, you do get fun perks. Like I said, early access. You do get access to Discord server where you get to talk to us, other members of the Nerd On Nation, and other members of other podcasts that are in the Nerd On family, like the Capeless Crusaders, and discounts on merch, all sorts of fun stuff. So check it out, nerdon.io/Patreon.
Wow, that was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, right?
I liked
We
it.
did that. Anyway, we're doing it.
I like how everyone started looking at me. It's like, are we still?
Because
We know
usually
what's
you take
next.
it over from here.
Well, I don't know if we want to continue doing because we no longer have our promo, but then you still can help out the show by being the best that we could be by using nerdon.io/comicsology. But
There it is. There it is. I'm not going to do that. Because he did the
that's fair.
ba-ba-ba-dum-bum.
But
There it is.
dumb kid. But no, Comicsology, as all you like to say, is not dumb.
Yeah.
And it has a wonderful UI system that if you are getting into comic books, there's a lot of shows out there, a lot of movies being made based on these IPs and these franchises. Definitely take a look at where the source material came from. And also new movies coming to theaters soon. Such stories like I freaking fell in love with Mr. Miracle over the holiday.
I keep hearing about that.
And I'm telling you, Ollie, I know you didn't ask, but I'm telling you, man,
Yeah.
Tom King's Mr. Miracle is so good. You can check it out on nerdon.io/comicsology. And that a little bit of every purchase helps us along the way.
Yes.
I might just have to do that.
Yeah, on your electronic reader.
Yeah, of choice.
Yeah.
Wow.
What else- what else do you
personal
usually-
PDA. People have those still, right?
PDA.
So
Next, you're
we're
gonna
here to
bring out your
talk
BlackBerry.
about the
Oh my God.
Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski, man.
But also, I mean, they did bring back Razor, so I'm saying this guy is out there.
But this is a finished product, correct? This is a finished
yeah,
movie.
it is.
I was
mean-
looking at you because normally you don't ever introduce this, so I
No.
thought I'd give you a chance to introduce the next section of our show.
Welcome to the new year. That's what I was actually. I'm telling you, I'm like, okay, when does this episode come out? And I was just
Yeah,
like, this is our first episode of the goddamn new year,
Oh
man.
my God,
It's
y'all.
kind of dope. Like,
Welcome
And-
to 2020.
I do want to point out that we have put off this episode. It always not put off. It just gets scheduled. Like we have a guest.
Josh
or-
likes it, so we want to
Oh, I'm actually
move
getting a
it
call. I gotta-
further
I gotta-
away
Yeah.
as
I'm actually
possible.
gonna different episode. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we might have to cancel today.
but no, yeah, I mean, this is wonderful. So this will be our first time, doing a film for this year in 2020, and then this is the first time that we are going to guess that grump. To see what rating my rating is. So if you are brand new to the Nerd On fam and listening to podcasts because you wanted to expand your fucking soul, man.
Wow.
Wow.
That's real.
That's
That's a
intense.
lot.
That's a promise that I give. Guess That Grump is a segment that where we now are going to guess who is going to have the lowest rating from 0 out of 5. You like that?
Thank you.
You like that,
As
Ollie?
Ollie likes to say.
And no matter how high it is amongst us, whoever's the lowest will be the grump for the week. Since Josh thrusted this upon me, like greatness it shall
Yes.
be. And this
Poor
is
Tom.
his like least favorite movie of all time. Go ahead,
Exactly.
you go first, Josh.
Me?
Yeah.
Me? I'm going to guess the grump.
Go, dude.
Do it.
I'm going to say Caitlin.
Oh,
Wow.
Cute.
Cute. Cute.
Caitlin.
I'm gonna say Ali.
Ooh. I will say Caitlin.
What?
I don't believe it.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna say Ollie.
Wow.
He was
Wow.
trying to deflect. He was trying to deflect. That's what it is.
I'm going to say Corey.
You don't know me.
I do.
You don't know
He
me
does.
at all.
He does
is
The
a-
moment Tom says
distraction.
Corey as a guest, I'm always like, oh no, I chose wrong.
The thing is,
Every time.
They spend a lot of time
You really have to
together.
look back and think of like, what does Caitlin usually like the movie of, and how irreverent they are typically, and also how lenient does Ollie go with movies that just make him feel good versus movies that actually like are like much more difficult to make than this one. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
Wait, Ollie, you said
Wow.
Caitlin?
I think,
Yeah,
is
okay,
this the
yeah.
intervention
He did.
episode? Or is
No.
this
The Nerd on Nation, members of the Nerd on Nation were able to vote on who they thought the grump was, and they think Ali will also be the grump.
Okay. Okay.
I do want to point out that somebody asked for the Nerd On update what movie they would use to explain the person to their left. And for Ali, I did say The Big Lebowski.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You did.
I can
So-
see it.
Was followed closely by Caitlin, and then me and Tom. Josh, you had no votes
Oh,
today
Josh-
or from the Nerd on Nation.
Corey, who
What?
did you vote for?
A surprise.
I voted for Ali.
Oh, so Ollie's gonna
So
go
I've
last.
Got a lot of votes.
Yeah, you do. I mean, that's
All right.
typically the track record.
Let's.
So it'll be
Hey.
Josh will go first, and then Tom, and then me, Caitlin, and then Ali last.
Go.
In a very specific order today.
Go.
Very specific.
So now the
Very-
complete spoilers
Yes.
Yeah,
to that.
The
First impression.
100%.
or initial reactions.
Do it.
One might say.
Do the thing.
Do the thing, man. I'll go first, man.
Yeah,
Dude.
We looked at you.
So I can't remember the very first time I watched this movie because my mom is a huge Coen Brothers fan.
Nice.
She saw Raising Arizona back in the day and was just kind of like, yes, all of this, everything they make, please, we want this. But I can't remember watching it in high school and just being enthralled. I saw it after Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Like
Okay.
Mm.
the time I cognitively remember was
Yep.
definitely after Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, knowing that it was the same creators and all that kind of stuff. And just seeing like John Goodman in it was very exciting, and John Totoro.
Totoro.
My neighbor
John
Totoro.
John, my neighbor
Do you guys know
Totoro.
the Ghibli brothers?
Yeah.
Ghibli blubbers.
Blubbers.
What
So,
is
but, like-
happening with English?
So I mean it's probably up there with one of my favorite Coen Brothers films. Not many top it
Oh.
as far as the Coen Brothers go.
Yeah.
It's you can't really go wrong with the cast. I love this movie because not much happens, but a lot happens at the
Yes.
same
Mhm.
time. And I'm kind of a big fan of those kind of films, such like Seven Psychopaths and stuff like that. In Bruges, where nothing really happens, but a lot happens.
Yeah. The Coen brothers have even gone on record to say, "Oh, the plot doesn't really matter.
No,
It's
not
the
at all.
performances."
Yeah. So yeah, I this is up there with one of those ones that I'll watch over and over again for sure.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
I can go.
Do it.
Take it.
So I remember watching, I think, a little bit of this film, and or like the first time I ever watched it, and completely disliked it. I thought it was boring. I thought it was all like just there, just taking up space.
Just a thing.
And then one of my friends, shout out to Ian. He really
Shout out Thoriel.
He really loved the movie, and I was like, why? And he's just like, there's just a really cool kind of message between the lines about it. And then I was like, okay, what the fuck am I missing, right? And so like I rewatched it again. And the first time, I mean, again, I'll tell you, like it was like during the dumb sci-fi, like you're just watching Pitch Black and sci-fi.
Yeah.
So like it was like a rerun on TV. And then I watched it again in college, and then I watched it again like after college, and I watched it again in preparation for this. And my appreciation for the film has definitely grown as long as I've known like when this film was made and why it was made, and
Yeah.
I get what the filmmakers are doing in terms of an essay to the world, and I'm like,
Oh,
I get it.
okay.
And then so I enjoy it, and I completely get why, much like Star Wars and much like Star Trek and Avatar, that there has been a cult, not even a cult following, it's just like this mainstream religious following for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dudism.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dudism.
And so that's my thing. I get it.
Mhm.
I get it.
I get it. The Tom abides.
Yeah.
Nice.
Kaylin, you want to hear Ollie's opinion?
I do.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I saw
Caleb?
this.
Aw.
I saw this a while ago, many years ago, and it was sort of like kind of like lukewarm. I wasn't amazed by it or anything like that. But then after that, I had seen "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," which is like one of my favorite movies, and I grew an appreciation for their style and started watching more of their movies, the Coen brothers. And then I kind of came back to Lebowski, and then I enjoyed it a lot more. I think it was just I was older, like I was more, I guess, more adult,
Wiser.
and, like wiser, and
Yeah.
and I had more of an appreciation for it.
Yeah.
Doing it raw.
But the movie's like really fun. Like I love it's just like it's just chill.
Dude.
I love that. It's just like hanging out
Man.
with Jeff Bridges and
John Goodman.
John Goodman. Line.
Line.
You're already fucking
Uh,
Element, Ollie.
Yeah. And Donnie.
So what happens
I
if you
mean, I love Donnie's character.
Oh no.
So
Because
Yeah.
you
Rocks
are,
tonight.
because you are
Because I
Donnie.
am Donnie.
You are so
basically.
fucking Donnie.
Shut up, Ollie.
Oh no.
Fuck up.
But no, I really loved John Goodman's performance in this. Really appreciated his character, and just he was just hilarious. Just a riot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Shout out to
It's a
Sega.
fun movie.
Yep. Josh, this is what happens when you find.
A
A stranger in
walrus.
the Alps.
Thank you. Kaylin, let's hear it.
I
Like,
at the very a note that I wrote down at the very end of this movie is what the fuck? No, really.
Oh, okay.
I was not
prepared.
I was not ready
Ah,
for what this movie is.
yeah.
I'd heard a lot about like, oh, you gotta watch it a couple times. There's hidden messages. There's this. There's that. You gotta look in between the lines. It's not what you expect. And I went into it with that and still was not prepared for
That
what
might have
this
been that might
movie
have been
was.
a actual like a deterrence to know that going in. Because
Mm,
watching it kind of blind is that there's part of that element of surprise to it that
Mhm.
Yeah.
not having that bar set of like you're gonna be weirded out a little bit.
I didn't get like a
You know what I mean,
you're
though?
gonna be weirded out. I understand what you mean, but
Yeah.
I still had that like surprise. I knew that there was some stuff about like Vietnam in there. It was like very surface level. Nothing that would like change my experience of watching it.
Okay. Yeah, I just
Um,
meant if someone told you watch it a few times, that already kind of gives you an idea.
How do I I don't know. It like
I mean, the opposite was for me, where like I watched it and I didn't like it, and
Yeah.
then people liked it, and I was like, "All right, I'm not watching it right, apparently.
yeah, I got to the end and I wasn't like I hate this or anything so strong as that. I was just like,
Well, it's not hot
what
rod.
happened? Oh my god. Nothing will make
Coming
me
soon to a Nerd On Nation near you.
nothing makes me angrier than Hot Rod. Yeah, I don't know. There were so many things that like I did not really
You didn't get it.
enjoy. It's not that I didn't get it. I did. I just wasn't a fan of the dude.
Yeah, it wasn't your thing.
Yeah, it wasn't my
Man.
cup of tea.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't your white
But
Russian.
there were so many. There were my Caucasian.
The Caucasian.
White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were just a lot of elements that felt too relaxed is the wrong word.
Non-urgent.
Yeah, the lack of urgency, and I get that that's like the entire point.
Mhm.
But that's just not my cup of tea.
No, we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
cool.
talk about
Yeah.
it.
And I mean, like that'll be that's. I mean, we always joke about steak all the time, and like
Did you
steaks,
say steak?
like the stakes of a film and stuff like that.
Oh,
So steak. Come on, Caleb.
Yeah, it's-
you can't just shit on Big Lebowski. And be like, what? I'm kidding. Josh,
anywho,
back to you, Trisha Takanawa.
Take us back to
It's gonna rain. No,
Josh that used to be and the Josh that became as a result of watching The Big Lebowski.
yes.
Before Paddington. BP.
before.
Yeah, Josh BP. But AD after
BP
dude.
too.
Yeah, after dude.
I actually had the same experience, Tom. My first watch through, I will admit I was under the influence of certain
White
White
Russian.
Russians.
green substance.
Ganja, baby.
Ganja.
Gummy bears. Oh,
Green
that dank
Kool-Aid.
Green Kool-Aid. No,
Wow.
I was under the...
those little watermelon Sour Patch Kids.
that was it.
Yeah.
No, so
You do the
I went in-
lifesavers with vodka, makes a little butthole.
Oh, damn. What?
What?
They make it like a little
No,
butthole.
Josh, please talk. Please.
No, my buddy Buzz, shout out to
Fucking
Buzz.
dope ass
He-
name.
Your buddy Buzz gave you Bud?
Yeah.
Okay, Buzz?
He was like, I need to, have you ever seen Big Lebowski? And I was like, no, I haven't. He was like, why do you got to see this? So we watched it and we were under the influence and I didn't get it. At first, I didn't get it. I didn't understand the plot. In fact, I went, what the just happened? What actually happens? Nothing, dude. And that's okay. But actually a lot happens.
Mhm.
So it was one of those, I've talked about this before, where I kept watching it because I did like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I did like Fargo. I did like other Coen brother things. So I was like, I just need to understand it. And then it just like one day hit me. And I was like, this is the greatest fucking film.
Dudism found you.
It did.
I think the thing that helped a little bit was with in Oh Brother, a lot like some of the same cast members like John Goodman are there, but it's like they're these characters.
Yeah.
They're these so like outlandish characters, and then they have like 5 minutes or whatever in the movie.
Did
Yeah.
you?
And like you grow, you're like, that was kind of fun.
The
He just brought him
circular-
in, and that was like a fun little
Yeah.
playtime
Yeah.
with that character.
3
And
minutes.
so I think like I had that then prepared going back into it.
Mm,
I don't know if you had something similar to
Did
where
you
you
watch-
It's hard to remember.
It's interesting to just watch these characters.
did you
like,
watch
play.
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou after?
I have no idea.
Okay, because I
He was
didn't-
under the influence, man.
Well, no, because you're saying like that kind of
His
changed.
timeline's
Was it like
skewed.
Yeah, my timeline. I mean, new shit has come to light, man.
Paddington
no.
came to light.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Two.
So, yeah, so I just kept watching it, and you have to be into the Coen Brothers style. You
Mhm.
have to be into the
Yeah.
nonsensical circular dialogue. You have to be okay
Almost
with that.
cartoony.
Yeah, almost like what that does not make any sense. Okay,
Much
you
like
have to be
Fargo.
cool with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I love that shit.
me too.
That stuff cracks me up because you're like, oh, it's nonsensical. Really?
Yeah.
Watch
same
it
like,
again.
Same like Martin McDonough and like that. It's
Yeah.
that like, oh, it's
I'd say
the in betweens.
they're leaner towards like the Tarantino spectrum?
Sure.
And Tarantino to me is like the most it's like the most outlandish in terms of like how the dialogue works.
Yeah,
And like,
it's like if the two of them had a baby.
but the thing is like they.
Martin McDonough and Quentin Tarantino would be the Coen brothers.
I would say like the thing about them is like it's like their dialogue is kind of like how I would describe Nolan's filmmaking, where it's like stylized reality, where this
Yeah.
like stylized realistic
Stylized.
dialogue,
Yeah.
Dialogue, yeah.
where it's like no one really talks like that, but also like it's okay because it works in the okay, Caitlin, because you talk like that. Caitlin's just giving me like weird Muppet faces for no reason. But
I know these
yeah.
people in real life.
You know Donnie, and you know the dude, and you know John Goodman. That's
I
really cool.
know
Uncle-
people who are a lot like them.
That should be part of our bingo.
No?
People Caitlin knows. Anyways, go on, Josh.
But yeah, and the other part about this movie that the dude for me is a person that I would like to be in a sense of his mentality of like far out, man.
If that's your actual religion.
That's like my like take it easy, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I deal with a lot of anxiety, and so this kind of grounds me in a sense of like, dude,
We all strive to be the dude.
yeah, just take
in
it
some
easy, man.
sense.
I don't.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's just like, chill.
I'm walled.
Yeah, it's funny how close he is to
Fuck
being a
up all this.
nihilist.
Yeah.
And he fucking hates him. He's a fucking nihilist. Nihilist?
They
Nihilist.
won't do anything to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Dope.
I dig it.
Production?
Very cool.
Cool. So yeah, that brings us to our brief synopsis and
Yeah.
production.
Yeah.
I have a brief
Then go
synopsis
brief it up.
because I want to brief it
Oh, wow.
because there's a lot going on.
All right, go, baby.
This movie is a tale of mistaken identity, bowling, Vietnam, false kidnapping, nihilism, a marmot, the Jesus, a severed toe, pornography, white Russians, vagina, Johnson, coitus, the Eagles, Credence, of course,
Of course.
extortion, death, and, well, just take it easy, man.
And
Guy
tumbleweeds.
gets his rug
Tumbleweeds.
peed on and then has to go through hilarity.
Yeah.
Hilarity
to
ensues.
get nothing back at all.
Less than 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
got
That
it.
was
You
like
said brief.
actually less than a minute.
Could you go shorter actually a little
Yeah,
bit?
we don't
I
have any
could
more
try.
time
Wow.
left. You know the drill as
As
always.
Nerd on.
But let's do the production. Let's go quick since we need to have a lot. Distributed by Universal Pictures, directors Joel Cohen, uncredited Ethan Cohen, but
They
together,
switch.
Together
every
they
time.
did Raising Arizona, Fargo, Barton Fink, The Lady Killers, No Country for Old Men, and True Grit. Producers Ethan Cohen, that's like where they switch. He's credited recently as Buster, the
Wait,
Ballad
real
of Buster
quick, 'cause
Scruggs.
it sounds like you kind of understand that. So they switch back
They
and
switch
forth
credits.
between.
So the Cohen brothers are brothers,
No.
and so they work together.
No,
and
They switch credits because there's something about there only being one director on a film.
Okay.
Technically, you can have both, but like
Yeah.
you kind of like they're writer, producer, and writer, producer, and directors. And the kind of thing is like you kind of don't want to have the same two names for 3 roles like that.
Yeah.
You kind of want to pick your battles, especially if they're teams together. Like,
Yeah.
At this point, it doesn't matter.
So they
But
swap director producer credits. Okay.
And then they're both writers.
so producer credited for it is Ethan Cohen, Ballad of Buster Scruggs, A Serious Man, and Burn After Reading. Writers Ethan and Joel Cohen. Written Brother Where Art Thou, Inside Llewyn Davis, and Hail Caesar. All of that together, I pretty much gave you the entire filmography.
Yeah. I would do an episode on A Serious Man, by the way.
The cast: Jeff Bridges from Tron, Iron Man, True Grit, John Goodman from Flintstones, Argo, Flight, Julianne Moore from Crazy Stupid Love, Hannibal, The Kids Are All Right, Steve Buscemi, Reservoir Dogs, Mr. Deeds, Fargo, John Turturro of Transformers, The Night of The Night of, and Barton Fink, Tara Reid, American Pie, Urban Legend, and Alone in the Dark, Philip Seymour Hoffman, R.I.P. baby, Punch Drunk Love, Mission Impossible 3, Hunger Games,
Hell yeah.
Along came Polly.
Peter Stormare, lastly, who did Constantine, Armageddon, and The Brothers Grimm. Release date March 6th, aka the Day of the Dude. 1998. Runtime 117 minutes. Budget $15 million. Million. And then it grossed $46.7 million. The Rotten Tomatoes score for critics is 82%. Audience is 94%.
I will really quick shout out Roger Deakins was their cinematographer and
Yeah.
is oftentimes their cinematographer. And
I like him
most
as
of
he's
the time.
amazing.
I like him as their cinematographer.
Cinematographer. Also,
He's uncredited, though.
oh, yeah, as the cinematographer.
Credited as French.
Yeah.
Wow.
The interesting thing about this, like thinking of the Rotten Tomato versus like the critics versus audience, like there are critics that have gone back and said, I fucked up. At the time, I rated it really, really low and I apologize. I don't know what was going on. This is one of those movies that many people have gone, when it first came out,
Ahead of its time, perhaps.
I
To sleep
I was that way
I
with
shit on it.
My sister was that way with Napoleon Dynamite. We went
Okay.
and saw it the first time and I loved it. I think it was just the right age for it. She's
Yeah.
a little younger than me and she's like, this is the dumbest thing I'd ever seen. And then she watched it a second time at some party and she's like, this is probably my favorite movie of all time. And I was like, oh, whoa. All right, that's a change.
But also,
Yeah.
critics aren't these like sentinels of what good and bad
Unless
is.
you're Roger Ebert, then shout out because
Well, he just loved
he
everything.
is somebody who
So-
has gone like, at the time, I must have been under this. Like,
R.I.P. baby.
I just got over, there are a lot of film festivals and stuff like that.
Just
I think
had
I was just,
exhaustion of
Yeah.
Fatigue. Sometimes you
yeah.
just get fatigued.
so yeah.
And I mean, like, critics are one thing or another. Never let that be the end of the conversation. Just
But
be part of the
what, my
conversation.
point is,
Be your own
I've heard,
critic. Or
I've-
don't be a critic.
I've
And
heard a
then-
lot of people say the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Like say at first I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then even some of the cast members have said, I think John Totoro said at first
John Goodman did say it was the most fun he's ever had making a film in his
Yeah.
entire career.
Oh, yeah?
Wow.
That's awesome.
I would love to see one of Jeff Bridges' photo books sometime. Like be able to go
Yeah.
through and
Oh, yeah.
every movie he makes a photo book
Aw.
and like actual printed film. And
The one from have you seen the ones from this one? They're
No.
fantastic.
yeah.
One more little bit of trivia is the script was actually written with Jeff Bridges, John Goodman, Steve Buscemi, and Sam Elliott all in mind.
Wow.
And they all said,
nice.
"Fuck yeah,
Perfect.
let's do it."
Very good.
But no, yeah. I mean, that's for me when I would say I didn't like it when I first watched it because I didn't get where it was coming from. When
Yeah.
you watch it and you have oh, I'm watching in 2006. It doesn't mean anything when
Yeah.
when you should it came out in a different time frame.
Yeah.
And it's kind of
I mean, at the beginning, it talks about the date and
Mhm.
what year it is, and so you're kind of having to remember what was the temperament over that
Yeah.
point. Like for me as an Asian dude, if I see a period piece and I see an Asian dude, I'm like, I know his life is a lot harder than it would be from like me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, is he like dealing with like more racial scrutiny than I am right now? And so it's like when you think about those things, like the world is different. And then when they talk about like this is like George H. Bush.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, it's different. It's a different Bush.
It's a different world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's giving
And
his
that,
famous speech.
and that check was written
time.
before 9/11. So who knows?
He post dates it a year.
Yeah.
Which is
no.
crazy.
I mean, it's just on September 11th.
Yeah, but if you notice, he post dates it a entire year,
Which
meaning
is
he's
illegal.
so broke he
Yeah.
can't even afford 68 cents worth of
Milk
creamer.
cream.
Yeah, it's a check. Every time I write a
Whoa.
check, I
Yeah.
think of that.
Because the only correlation is that the
69 cents.
the date of that speech is the only key to when exactly
Well,
that is.
it's talking about like how they're dealing with Saddam Hussein and all that stuff, and then like 9/11 happens like years later, and so
Yeah.
like that film almost kind of predicts it
Yeah,
in a weird way, like
Yeah.
like how South Park and Simpsons predict shit.
yeah, right.
Mm.
As
But yeah,
in
he-
they
he
weren't
po-
trying
he-
to.
It's put a whole date on there is not the year the movie takes place.
No.
It's a whole
Right.
year later.
But yeah, so favorite parts, or want to just go into kind of a discussion of the film and all that stuff? We blasted through everything
I
pretty
mean,
quickly.
I have tons of favorite parts.
We can use some favorite parts as launching points.
Yeah,
Do it.
Want to kick
How
us
about
off?
you? I was gonna say, Ollie, you want to start this?
Yeah,
since
I can
it
start
was
us
your
off
idea.
here.
So mine.
Uh,
No, I'm just
so my idea is to have Corey go first.
Okay.
Oh,
No, I just love one of my favorite parts is just their conversation in the bowling alley with Donnie.
yeah.
And he's like a half step behind the conversation the whole time.
Yeah.
And just like
It was like
Then
Or in the
you
movie
gotta-
theater, in and out.
them kind of getting confused of like who's talking about what.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Bridges is getting like annoyed at the whole situation.
More and more annoyed at the
That
two
was
of them.
that was pretty great.
When they're trying to work out like what the dude
What's
should
being-
do.
Right.
Your
yeah.
rug?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He peed on your fucking rug.
This aggression will not stand.
Yeah.
I also
Pretty great.
sorry, I'm just gonna jump right in here
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm on it
Do it.
right now.
Just do it.
This movie made bowling seem so magical.
Bowling
It
is
did.
magical.
It is.
I liked bowling as a kid, but then when people were like, "Oh, you want to go bowling?" I was like, "Eh."
Bowling after this became one of my favorite parts in the movie is when Walter goes, "Fuck it, dude, let's go bowling."
Yeah.
A buddy and I, again, Buzz. Anytime we've had a bad day,
Buzz,
we go,
so
Nice.
cool.
"Fuck it, dude, let's go bowling,"
I
and we'd
love
go,
bowling.
we'd go bowling.
Bowling's
Shout out
and
to
relaxing.
my hometown bowling, Nave Bowl, that got closed down when I was a little kid. But my dad and I used to go there and get French fries after school twice a week. And go
Oh my
bowling.
god.
and I
Nice.
love that the dude never bowls.
No,
Yeah,
not once.
a
No,
single
I've seen him
time
go.
throughout
Well,
the
he just
entire
goes there and
movie.
gets sauce.
Yeah.
And that's fine too. You're just there to hang out. And I mean, like,
He's
I
a
would
part of the team.
do that when I was like a high schooler. Like, we'd go out and then we'd go to the bowling alley because it was like a late night thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, but to me, it's like there's also like magical to that point where it's like there's a loud boom when the ball hits, and then there's this rolling, tumbling, droning sound that comes into a final like crackle while the
Mhm.
pin's getting hit. Like, there is a magical thing to it, but also it's like
The musicality of it all.
I mean, I actually have watched a shit ton of like like major league bowling, professional bowling, and all that stuff. So it's like,
Well,
yeah,
it's interesting. Like bowling's a very important part of this movie, and I love that they used the fuck it, dude, let's go bowling.
Yeah.
Like, it really does like reset the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, because the next scene it's immediately calm and the music's there and
Everything's
doing
chill
strike.
again.
Yeah.
Phone's ringing.
Yeah, and then it's like a completely different thing because that's when they introduced Jesus, right?
Yeah.
The
Um,
Jesus.
the Jesus,
Man, that guy
uh,
can bowl. Yeah, but he's a pervert.
which is just hysterical.
One of my favorite lines in the movie. Yeah.
I love
But he's a
when he's
pervert.
like, there's because they're doing the cutaway or whatever.
and he's
and-
walking there.
And I just love that it cuts away right when he opens his mouth. It's like imagining the conversation that
Yeah.
would ensue with this guy who looks like he would just immediately punch his face in.
The slow
It's like a
motion
long
blank
coke
stare.
nail, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That that whole bowling alley, like it seemed like older than the time period as well. Like
Well, it's like one of those like that's kind of gotten forgotten by the time.
It's
It's
called
called
Star-
stylistic kind of.
It's Stardust Retro Bowling. It's still
Yeah.
around.
Star-
You can go
oh,
there.
oh, oh.
It's a theme.
No.
what?
It's
closed
not.
it.
Oh, did they really?
Oh.
Yeah.
No, that's a bummer.
But like
Mm.
a lot of bowling alleys were kind of like
It's a
that. There's
themed one.
like I would say a good sect of bowling alleys that like adopted like
let's put club music on and get a laser
Yeah,
tag spot.
cosmic bowling for us.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
10 minutes they'd put on a light show with
Yeah.
black
Yeah.
lights and everything.
Pickwick hasn't changed in the last like 50 years either.
Oh,
Pickwick,
whoa.
Bowling is still the same. The little diner is still literal like cowboy doors to get
Oh,
into
really?
the diner. Yeah, it's
Nice.
awesome.
yeah.
Highly recommend Pickwick. It's fun.
Is that
Little
that's
time
here?
warp.
That's right down the street in like North Hollywood.
Nice.
We should go bowling sometime.
I'd love to.
The Big Lebowski, making you
Pickwick,
want to bowl.
I'm telling you.
Fuck
It's
this
very fun.
podcast.
It's
Let's
been
go
a while.
bowling.
Fucking dude, let's go
Let's
bowling.
But what other favorite parts, guys?
This movie is it's hard for me to go. This is my favorite part because from beginning to end,
You quote
there's
it.
something like
Yeah.
my brain often thinks in Big Lebowski quotes. There's so many beautiful parts. I mean,
And Bill and Ted.
and Bill and Ted, exactly.
Those are your two go-tos.
Yeah. One of my favorites is when they're talking about after the gun scene, and he's like, he's fragile, man, very fragile. He's a pacifist. I did not know
I
that.
did not know that. Over the fucking line.
One of
Am
my
I the only one here that cares about rules?
one of my favorite parts is actually when the dude meets
Sam Elliott?
no the porno dude.
Oh,
Porno
the,
dude.
the
Yeah.
freaking wannabe Hugh Hefner.
yeah.
And he
Jackie
starts,
Treehorn.
yeah, he
Jackie
starts
Treehorn.
actually doing like the little James Bondy thing, and it's like
Just the pencil
But then
scratching.
he's like trying to see what Jackie Treehorn wrote on this like notepad, and he does it in like the way that you typically would. You get a piece of paper and you kind of like use the side of a pencil and you try to
Lightly.
etch in what the
Indent.
imprint, the indent
Yeah.
gives you, and it's a fucking penis.
Mhm.
It's
And
a guy with a hard dick.
and
Yeah.
like it's really cool because it's a good subversion, because even when you think the film is going to start giving you like those hard plot lines, like it instead says
Yeah.
like,
Does it?
hey, this film isn't about that. And
Stop
so-
it. It
Yeah.
literally says, don't.
Stop.
Yeah, and so I was like,
Stop
that's-
trying to make this something it's not.
and I was like, that's a really cool moment, because like it kind of like manipulated you in a way where it's like, here's the candy. Are you gonna follow? It's like, yes, I'm gonna follow. I want to see what the hell's going on. And then all of a sudden it's like, nope.
Here's a musical interlude.
So like I
Oh,
really like
one of
I
the
really
best,
appreciate
too.
that scene.
my God.
I loved the subversion of the line. Hey, they posted the tournament schedule. Donnie, shut the. When do we play?
Yeah.
Just cuts himself off
only
halfway.
time.
No,
Yeah.
that's his default response.
Donnie, shut the. When do we play? Saturday.
The oh yeah, and his like rage afterwards of
Yeah.
like, what is
Yeah.
it called on
Sabbath.
Saturday?
Sabbath.
Sabbath.
Is it?
Shabbos.
Shabbos. Sorry,
Shabbos,
Shabbos.
that's
Sorry.
what he called it.
Sabbath. The Sabbath. Well, that's
Black Sabbath.
But when you find out
Sha-
later that he was raised Catholic but converted, he's like, you just don't unconvert. You make a commitment.
I'm not renting it shoes, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not.
He's not gonna have.
It's not gonna
turn.
fucking roll, dude.
Yeah.
I also really enjoyed when those dudes broke into his house, peed on his rug in the very, very beginning, and they find out that they got the wrong Lebowski. And as they're leaving, he goes, "Thanks a lot, asshole." It's like,
Yeah.
you broke
Yeah.
into
At least
his
some house
house.
broke. At least some house
Man.
broken.
Literally,
Beat
one of
him
my
up.
favorite lines comes from that. Like top 3 favorite lines in the movie comes from that scene. Is when he's like, "Where's the money?" He's like, "I don't know." I got. What does he say? Josh, what is it?
It might be in
He
there.
goes, I don't know. I think it's down there. Just one more time.
Yeah, let me check one more time. And then shoves him back in. It's one of my favorite lines. Just like in the middle of all this, has time to make some fucking snarky ass remark.
Obviously, you're not a golfer.
Yeah. What's this, man? Obviously, you're not a golfer.
Fucking Brant, Philip Seymour Hoffman,
Oh.
R.I.P. But his just
So good. The nervous.
This is dude.
Oh, when she says, "I'll suck your dick for $20," his nose flares so hard.
he
He's
starts
just
like
like,
hitting his
I
sides.
Free
can't
spirit.
do anything about
I'm gonna
this.
go
Or he's
find
like,
an
these are all his
ATM.
children. Does he have room for one more? Oh, you mean you killed me? And then the dude's just like, yeah, man.
Oh,
That's what I fucking
so
meant.
one of the goons that pees on the rug is Mark Pellegrino, who plays the devil in Supernatural.
Oh.
Yeah, he
And
was
I-
also in Lost.
yeah, and so seeing him, and I was like, oh, he's so young, but he's so fucking ripped.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the funny thing was like that's the 90s ripped, but like dude, and it's like this is like what the muscle would look like, and it's just so
Uh-huh.
different than how it is now.
Very different.
He's one of those actors that was in everything for a long time, but he was never like the guy. He was like the side the guy.
Yeah.
Like he was
like
he
Peter
was in
Stormaro's
Lost.
kind of like that too.
Yeah.
Who was he in Lost?
He was one of the I don't remember his name, but you remember the
Spoiler. One of
the
the smoke boys.
There was
Fucking
a
too
white
late.
and there was white and black guy.
Yeah.
He was the
Oh,
he
okay.
was the white.
Oh, if I saw his face, I know.
They wore white and they wore black.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
I forget what they. It's been a long time.
It's been a minute. That was a confusing ass
It
show.
ended what 10 years ago.
He was Jacob.
Jacob.
Oh, he was
There it is.
Jacob?
Jacob.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was some quick ass tapping for my fingers on my
Okay, yeah,
iPad.
I know exactly who that is. Oh, he's Jacob. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh.
Yeah, that I forgot what I was gonna say now.
Oh,
But he was great. Sorry.
it was great.
I
Thanks
just
for
like
listening to the last episode.
who is the I forgot all the names, so help me out with this. Julianne Moore's character.
Oh,
Maud.
I was gonna say Lupin.
Maud.
Yeah,
Lupin's in
where
it.
he's like,
Oh my
he's like,
God.
he's like, you want a drink? It's like the bar's over there.
Yeah.
And then I was like, damn, like because everywhere he's gone, like someone's made him a drink.
Oh, when she's
Yeah.
showing him the porn, and she's like, the plot is ludicrous.
Yeah.
You can imagine
yeah.
what happens next. He fixes the cable.
If only. Oh
Uh,
man, the fucking when they call the ferret a marmot,
Oh,
Yeah.
and then the sound effect that they used for the ferret is a pig.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Dope.
It was like when it was in the tub, they used like a pig squealing as the
Thus-
sound a ferret, a marmot would make.
Yeah, because they had to get that no animals were harmed at the making this film, the little stamp at the end of the movie. So they had to like put painful sounds, and pigs are painful sounding.
Thus
They
proving
are.
that it doesn't really matter.
Nope. Doesn't at all. Never noticed that.
Wow.
I also liked the little subtle nods to like foreshadowing, like the song that plays over the introduction of the Jesus who he hates is Hotel California, a flamenco
Oh,
Hotel
yeah.
California, and then you find out like 30 minutes later that he fucking hates the Eagles. And you're like, oh, okay,
That's a
now it's all
joke.
coming together.
Anytime I hear the Eagles, I actually like the
I
Eagles.
love the Eagles.
And so when it plays, I'm like, man, fuck the Eagles. Get your own fucking cab.
Yeah. I love the Eagles. But yeah, I thought that was a nice little
That's interesting. That's funny.
nod to that. You're like, okay, so then you know he hates him. You go
Yeah.
back for your second watch, and you're like, oh, it was there all along.
There's so
What a
many.
prick.
Oh,
There's just
When
so
he's
many.
trying the ball, shining it.
I love the
Killing me.
manic moment that that the dude has.
Oh,
like when
yeah.
he's like when he crashes the car.
Oh,
like,
when he drops
yeah.
his yeah,
Yeah,
his
he, like-
roach.
his moments of screaming is just kind of like, oh, he's the thing is like you're kind of lulled into this sense of security that like this character kind of like zen his way out of everything and kind of like things will just happen. But there are moments where he is legit afraid and he's going like he's
panicked.
panicking.
and- yeah.
Yeah.
So like those are cool like moments of humanity that like things will like that will happen, but it's kind of like you got to keep trudging along and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
I love
The
his
car keeps running somehow.
his first confrontation with Lebowski.
Mhm.
Like he's like, and he's just trying to explain it, and then he gets like taken back, and he's not prepared for that conversation.
Yeah, for him to be like, what do you want me to do about it?
Yeah, that back and
It's
forth.
your
was-
fucking rug. And then he was leaving.
hilarious.
He's like, what did he say?
I
Take
could
any
take
rug in the
another one.
house.
He just kind of
Love
like not resigns, but he's like, cool.
And just walks out while
Yeah.
in the middle of it
Mhm.
all. Yeah.
Well, it's like his last line is like, you should like take responsibility like for your own like
Yeah.
whatever.
The bum's lost.
Yeah, he's just nodding. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, boomer.
I like the leave me the fuck
Yeah,
alone.
I will do
You
things for
practice?
myself.
Yeah, I'll be at practice.
Oh
there's-
man, the check for the half and half was
Yes.
69 cents.
yeah.
Mhm.
And the like he finishes writing it and then he just is like like the little like
How does that go for
Oh, well,
the,
he was watching the
How's-
speech,
how's that go for
the
the
George W. Bush speech.
I thought that he was writing 69 cents and then looked up at the cashier.
No, he looks at the TV behind her because George W. Bush is it's one of
Then
the
it's
most famous
less.
witches.
This aggression
how's that
will
go
not
for
stand.
Yeah, this
the
aggression will
listening
not
audience,
stand.
Caitlin?
He looks up. That's
Yeah.
it. He looks up.
Because they do a close up of the TV with the "This aggression will not stand," which
Yeah.
then comes back.
Oh, because it
And
was
then-
on her, and then I thought that he wrote 69 cents, and then was like, mhm.
Maybe that's a bad eye line
Maybe.
for
Yeah.
you. For you.
Yeah.
For me, I got
I thought it was funny.
For me, I got it. So,
There's a lot of like little moments that I just dig.
I love.
Yeah.
I liked it when Maud, right? That's her name.
Mhm.
Yeah.
When she's trying to make sure
When she comes flying.
pregnancy is happening.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "What are you doing?" And then she's
love
like, "I'm
that.
trying to have like a child," and he just spits out his
spit take is-
She's like,
is
"Don't
pretty
worry."
great.
Is that yoga?
Yeah.
What is
but,
that, yoga?
He's like, okay.
but like, yeah, that's kind of like I really dug that moment too because it kind of that had its own argument about like a woman's intention to create life on her own terms and like how the ideology of like a man must always be there. Like it just kind of depends on what the situation is. I really like that.
Yep. Her
Um,
flying in on the
The painting.
Oh
That
my
was-
God.
What an introduction.
it's one of my favorite intros in a movie ever, I think. Just the
The first line, do you have a problem with the female
Yeah.
form?
vagina.
it's
Time.
fucking it's violent.
Yeah.
I love when they're talking about sex and she goes, "Do you like fornication or something?" And he goes, "Oh, you mean coitus?" Because she had just said
Yeah.
coitus. Just cracks me up because
There's
a
good
lot of
wordplay.
little jokes.
There's
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
wordplay like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, where
Yeah.
like they'll circle around within the same conversation, and then they'll do longer ones within like the whole film.
Yeah.
That's like really good.
Um,
I liked there's a really good symbology and just a good shot of you're seeing all of the Big Lebowski's
Yeah.
awards,
The actual Big Lebowski.
and his accolades, and then there's that one mirror of Man of the Year by Time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's in it, and it's like a really cool kind of like this is what you should be thinking of, like this is the true like American hero kind of thing
Yeah.
that the film's trying to make a statement about. And I like, and that later on becomes the foreshadow of like why should this character be the embodiment of like the Man of the Year. And so like I really like that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, there's the obvious ones like the ashes
I was gonna say coffee
And-
pot or
The
the
ashes is pretty
and
great.
throwing the
Folgers.
underwear out the window and him trying to
Take
be
the
like,
ringer.
yeah, and him trying to be like, you know,
Whites.
it's right here.
Oh, he's like dirty laundry, whites.
Yeah.
Like that
And
would
then
matter.
there's the obvious, you know, this is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps.
Oh, yeah.
You fuck a stranger in the ass.
Coming in and just being like so honoring to the guy in the metal lung. Like, thank you so much for everything you've done. Like, it's just killed me. Non-responsive completely. That little kid though is such a little shit.
But apparently a lot of these characters are based off real people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So the Walter's based off of one of the Coen brothers' friends.
friends, yeah. But
Yeah.
like the guy in the iron lung is like based off someone else too.
Mm.
And there's like just a bunch of people who are like based off of real life people that the film is trying to connect because it is dealing with that like, you know, a U.S. and international estates thing, and a lot of the people like Walt had a lot of, and that's the thing that the political conversations that kind of have front street access now in films are like so in the back of
Yeah.
this film, but they're talked about in such a way where you kind of have to know that there is a conversation between both.
Yeah.
And then after that scene of the Find a Stranger in the Alps scene, and they go to In-N-Out, and the
In-N-Out?
In-N-Out. Those are good burgers, dude.
Yeah.
Um,
Shut up, Donnie.
They really are.
when they're driving home and the dude's car, the windshield is out, and he's just resigned. Everybody's eating, and he's just like
Yep.
staring forward. Well, actually, fun fact, that In-N-Out is the one on Lancashire in North Hollywood.
It's mine.
They never show it, but if you look at where they're driving and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, they're in North Hollywood.
Oh,
Yeah.
dope.
Huh.
It's right down the street
I was
from my
kind of
house.
looking around, like I was just like, I feel
The
like
bowling alley used to be like over there.
right there.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
I was looking around. I
Ah.
was like, a lot of these areas look really close to mine, but also that look very close to like Sherman Oaks and Van Nuys
Yeah.
Yeah.
versus NoHo.
They probably picked it based on like a good setting or whatever.
Well, they probably wanted ugly shit too.
Yeah.
For that.
The valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean like where he lives and like how he's late to, or he's always late paying late rent, and then he goes to like his
Oh, God.
landlord's
His
fucking
landlord's so sweet.
dance.
Hey, dude, it's
Maybe
it's
By the
already
way,
the
it's the
10th.
10th.
Uncomfortable.
Far out,
And he's
man.
like, "Fuck." Oh, right. I'll slip that on your door. All right, cool. Thanks.
So you like
his dance?
the dance quintet? You really like that?
It's really good.
It's artistic. It's
Oh,
really,
He's so
really good.
endearing, the
Yeah.
landlord.
I loved him.
I just wanted to hug him.
When is it when he gets the rug finally, or the first rug?
Yeah, that he
Um,
has for like 10 seconds.
Well, he's
Yeah.
listening to
Bowling noise?
Yeah.
music.
It's not bowling music.
No,
it's
it's
just
bowling
the
sound.
sound
It's like
of
the
bowling.
sound of bowling, and I'm just like, but like, there's a part of me that's kind of like remind me like, you know, Cool Runnings, right? You know, it's like left turn, right turn. You know,
Oh, yeah.
just that that athlete mentality. It's like, I know what that is. Like, oh, he hit it on a 710. He hit it like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
And he never bowls.
That's so fun. I was like, what?
I mean,
is
and
this?
Josh, I was assuming you would tell the story about his wardrobe and
Yeah.
all that kind
It's
of
all
stuff.
his.
Yeah.
It's all Jeff Bridges.
Down to the jellies.
Jellies.
What?
Yeah,
Which
and he still has those.
Still wears. That's all his clothes.
That's what?
Yeah.
What?
There's no wardrobe for him. He just brought in
What?
clothes, and the jellies were a big part of. He's like, I want to wear these, and they were like, okay. Yeah.
Wow.
He still
Jeff
wears them
Bridges, I
around.
love you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
killed it
For the jellies.
for
For the jellies.
Do it
Yeah.
for the jellies, man.
Do it for the jellies.
Man.
And he also said that every single dude or man was actually in the
Scripted.
script. There
They're
was
all
not a
scripted.
single improvised man.
This has
Oh,
probably.
Wow.
It has, so in terms of docking order, it's there's so many fucks, and then after
Yeah.
that it's man, and to the point where it's like there as many fucks as there are in the film, it's like it ranges from every 30 seconds, like if
Wow.
it, on average, and then like man is like every minute and a half.
It has.
Wow.
It has one of the highest counts of the F bomb
Yeah.
in
Wow.
movie
Maybe
history.
that's why I like the dialogue so much, because it's like mirrors
Fuck,
my
Exact.
own.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's I think, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I think the scene he said the only time he got to improvise lines was when he drops the roach in his pants, and he'd be like, "Shit! Oh shit!" Like that had to be.
Yeah.
They're like, just go for it.
And you
But
look
the
at the
rest
di-
of it's all completely scripted.
You're almost
Wow.
surprised
Bond Brothers.
when you watch some of the scenes, because you're like, some of it seems
Seems
improvised.
Past tense of seem is seems.
Yeah. almost seems improvised.
Yeah, it does.
And because I think it seems so circular and blah, 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 but they just hit it and they just knew their characters. That's why the Coen brothers have said it doesn't really matter the plot, it's the performances. I
Yeah.
think that's one of the things that I love about this movie is watching. I think we've talked about it on the show before of like committing, like the comedy is not like, oh, it's funny because it's silly. No, because you're committing to the realness of these characters, and that's why it's funny.
Well, I mean, also the funny thing is also like how well it puts things on top of its head. Like the nihilist compared to what the dude is, like, oh, that seems really exhausting, or that
Yeah.
seems really tiring.
Yeah.
We
Or
believe in
it was
nothing.
like, it was like he's a nihilist. He doesn't believe in anything. That must be tiring. You know, like that kind of mentality where it's like the dude is a true nihilist into the form of it, whatever. And like the way that the film like introduces characters and how these are just archetypal characters that you see in story, but then like they're almost so direct. And the dude is kind of just there to subvert them all and put them on top of their heads and be like Walt, like being like a fucking reborn again Jew and all that stuff. It's only because he wants to converted. It's because he wants to be connected to his ex-wife. Born again Jew.
Reborn again is what you said. By the way,
reborn.
people out there, you should Google reborn babies. That's a fun thing that's new.
No. What?
Yeah, no, it's not what it sounds like at all. Have you ever heard of
Okay.
like real dolls? Like the sex dolls? Reborn babies are real doll babies, but they're like to care for if you don't want to have a real baby.
Oh.
Oh, there's a movie about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a TV
It's
show
really
right
good.
now.
There's TV
It
show
could
right
be
now
like
about
a
that.
it could be like a sequel of like Lars and the Real Girl, but it could be like Mom and the Fake Baby.
That sounds
that's
like
what
the
that is.
plot device
Babies.
for every like middle.
They
should
should have got one of these for American Sniper. Is what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying
It's
to say.
literally
Well,
the
that's
M. Night Shyamalan
terrifying.
show right now.
So anyway, Walter,
Uh,
reborn again Jew.
Yeah, reborn again Jew is not even like he really only wants to believe it so he stays connected to his ex-wife.
Yeah.
And so like there's a lot of things in there where it's like people put on this front where it's actually not. Like and Big Lebowski is the biggest one. He has, no,
has
he has no fucking money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like the film's importance is that like everything that people put out in the front is like such bullshit, but the dude has nothing to hide from.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do
Well-
with bro or dude. I mean, it has a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Caitlin.
So why is the dude broke? Is that just his life?
That's his
He's
lifestyle.
unemployed.
He's like
Okay.
the pure hermit where he's kind of just like living off of the ether of the world around him.
Mhm.
And that's the thing where it's like,
He's kind of at peace with it. It's not like a glorified position, but like when
Right.
people start putting it's like the reason why you suck is X, Y, and Z. He's like, I'm just trying to do, man. I'm just trying to live and
Trying
be
to
happy.
abide.
Because the thing is, also the world is in this wartime, and so like that's the beginning part of the film is like he's seeing like George W. Bush as talking about like this transgressor will not blah 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 blah, right? And he and everyone else is talking about it, like talking about Nam, talking about like what's wrong with the social economic system, what's wrong with religion and like not believing in something, and then like people who are marrying like just trophy wives and like women like kidnapping themselves. He's just like,
Yeah.
go bull, man.
Originally,
You know,
they
like, drink
were
a Caucasian.
Yeah.
originally they were gonna have the dude be the heir to the Rubik's cube
Yeah.
fortune. Like his grandpa invented the Rubik's cube or something. But then they were like, you know what? It's just too much. Let's just have him
Keep it as-
be
yeah.
broke and simple, and that's all you need to know.
yeah. And I mean, like even then, he's like an inconsequential father,
Mhm.
and that doesn't even matter.
Right.
And so like there's so many things that the dude like is kind of pushed into. He gets pushed into all these situations. Like, and the fun thing is that like as well as plot happens to him, like the characters are also progressing it because his entourage, like Walt, is like trying to screw the plan and be like, we're gonna get paid twice and fuck this bitch. Like, but she gave like look at the toe. Like he has a conscience.
You want a toe? I can get you a toe. I can
but-
get you a toe by 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Yeah. And like so things happen to him, but then also like he's trying to navigate through it as like the Coen brothers are wanting or kind of trying to like say that we like the people in that time frame should have.
Mm.
And that's why like who's Cowboy Man? Good job, Corey.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Thank you. Cheers.
Now you're not gonna drink it.
I just cheers
You
the
picked it
entire
up.
audience.
So and he alludes to the dude as Jesus. He's like, I'm glad that he's out there because he's
Right.
doing it for all of us. And it's like he's doing the dude's he's abiding for our sins. He's abiding for all of our worries and all that stuff. He's just living because all of us are too busy being worried. And so like
I
there's
like
there's
your
a
style,
cool thing about that.
I like your style too, dude.
Like
You got
whole
that whole cowboy thing going for
Cowboy
you.
thing going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like,
Agreed.
It took me a long time to like understand like
Well,
if,
I get it.
if they were to make it now, it'd be like, instead
That's not something I picked up on, obviously, when I was like
Right.
12 and watched it for the first time. I
Right.
just thought it was funny.
I didn't pick it up in between episodes of Monk on USA either. So
What?
that's when like it would show. It would show like it was like a daytime rerun, and that's why I'm like, I don't fucking get this movie. Fuck this
You watch
movie.
so much daytime rerun TV. Like I just
Yeah.
watched movies.
Yeah, my dad would work the night shift. I got home and he's like, "Do your homework and leave me alone." I was like, "Okay, sure, what out?" And then like he's like, "Make dinner and cook, do the dishes." I'm like, "All right."
We were
sure."
a DVD family.
So turn on the TV. I mean, I watched the shit of all the DVDs already, so
Yeah.
it's like too much. But yeah, just
Fair.
a bunch of fucking daytime shit. So like not like watching it like as George W. Bush was getting out of war or getting into war, like it didn't make sense.
I was like, I don't think he ever got out of war.
And then so like watching it now, I'm like, oh, let me see when this was made. Let me
or when it takes place, rather.
when it takes place. And I was like, I mean, when it gets
Looking at
made,
the
like
social.
to like it's there's hindsight
socio-political.
that they have,
Right.
and so like they're writing it in that sense. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
So I mean, like watching a period film now. Like, why would people watch Harriet now? Like, why would they watch a period film about a black woman? I don't know. Like, it must deal with something we're doing with now. So, like,
Mhm.
what were the Coen brothers think about then that they wanted to talk about like back then?
Oh, I see
Right.
what you're saying now.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a
I thought
there's
you
a-
just meant like when it was made, and I was like, but it's period. Yeah.
but
You're just
it's
saying.
important. So like
Yeah.
where the baby comes from is important.
Yeah.
Favorite
Uh,
characters?
Favorite characters? Walt.
Jesus.
Walt all fucking day.
Wow.
Walt,
Was anyone surprised?
No.
Well, I realized I'm like, you know what? I'm not dude. I am fucking Walt. That's
Yeah.
I feel like in my head I have this conversation with you where you're going, "Am I wrong? No, dude, but you're an asshole."
Yeah.
But
You're
I'm
not wrong.
But I'm not fucking wrong. That's what it is.
Just an asshole.
I'm,
It's like
I'm
your opinion,
right there with you.
man.
I agree. Walter.
Walter?
It was just fun to watch him and
Call him by his real name.
James.
Walter.
Walter.
Walt.
Walter.
Kaylin.
Come back. I'm still.
Donnie.
It's cooking.
Okay. Kaylin.
God damn it. You
We're
go.
back.
You go.
Oh, it's the dude. 100%.
Nice.
I'm a sucker for Jeff Bridges also, so I'm a little biased.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then my side is tied between either Philip Seymour Hoffman's character or Donnie.
Yeah.
Either one of those two.
If I had to pick a side, it might be
Yeah, do a side.
it would
All
probably
you
it
guys
actually
think?
would probably be Mod.
Mod? Yeah.
Like I actually really don't
I think I
like
agree with that.
I don't know, there's something I feel like I know for a fact that me and her would never get along.
yeah.
But I like what she does for the film. And
I liked the way she played like the role.
yeah.
It was really well
100%.
done.
Super
Yeah,
talented.
and
I
so-
just can't. Donnie makes me laugh so fucking hard. And,
That's
and
true.
Philip Seymour Hoffman made me laugh more than anyone in the film.
There's a part of me that thinks that like when I watch it again and again and I watch like Donnie's reactions, there's a part of me that I kind of go, but he's not out of his element.
No.
Like he's actually like keeping track and he's like, "I the walrus."
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You're like,
I-
Well, no,
well,
he's
yeah,
like
I'm the
one
walrus.
I'm the
step.
walrus.
He's one step behind.
But because they make him be one step behind.
They,
Yeah.
they a
Well,
lot of the time
kind of
they
forces
start
him to be.
conversations while he's bowling,
Yeah.
or while they're in a fucking movie theater, or
Yeah.
like
No,
all these
and-
situations where
They
he
don't
shouldn't be paying
involve him.
attention, and then
Yeah.
You're
Well,
like
no,
a
it's like-
child that wanders into
It's
a
like
movie.
right now, if he came and he's like, okay, so favorite characters, like, shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Yeah.
It's like, we're already past that shit. Like that's exactly what I'm like. Walter is the best.
yeah,
But
Caitlin or yeah.
Maud mainly also just because I really enjoyed that she is like the daughter of this big community member at large, and also has rejected that part, but she still retains the socialite like status,
yeah,
which
she enjoys the perks.
yeah, and so you kind of see that, and it's complete contrasted how with the dude lives and all this stuff, and yet she still finds him to be some sense of a
She finds him refreshing a little bit.
refreshing, but in almost a primal sense, because she talks about things very objectively, almost scientifically, which
Yeah.
I kind of appreciate. But so she even sees whatever the dude is good enough to be a DNA donor
Yeah,
of sort to her.
A sperm donor.
her tribe, and that's
From their
the
like
thing,
30
'cause,
seconds of meeting.
there's
Yeah.
the one time Tom censored himself.
Well, like because the thing is, it's a very sterile kind of transaction. It's a very sterile
Yeah.
transaction. There's no love in this. It's
Yeah.
just like, let's get down to business. Like, let's not go through the whole process of all. Let's just put that penis inside of me, shoot your
Oh,
load.
you could say that, but you can't say sperm donor.
No, I
Cool.
can't.
Cool.
And, clip that though. Put that penis inside of me.
Nope.
No.
Not at all.
But, no, like, and so like, there's that cool sense where, because like, male masculinity is also that conversation too. Like, Macho Man, the show, like the 90s action hero is like, this is what you should be bringing into your household. That's how you should have your children look like. At the end of the,
yeah.
But then like she chooses like
3 minutes of
someone who's
playtime.
like pretty
That
cognizant.
Macho Man?
Someone who's pretty cognizant, like still chooses the dude as like, she could have potentially anybody, but she
Yeah.
chooses him to be like, oh, you're the person who I want to like have my kid look like, or
There's something unique about him that she sees.
Well,
which is very unique.
She said that because like there's no chance they would run in the same circles, because there's no way you'll interfere with my life whatsoever. You're a perfect match for me.
Yeah.
So it's like that's a really cool like aspect I like to about that character.
Kaylin?
I was just
You like the
I
landlord.
was just running running the
Dude.
clock.
The dude?
Dude'll be my main, because there are elements of him I enjoy. And then Maud is
Yeah.
my side, just because I enjoy elements from both of them. I don't wholly like them completely, but I do like both
Yeah.
of them.
Dope.
Josh?
Dope. The
Which is a
dude.
good. I think you're not supposed to either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this dude when he's dreaming or dude
dude.
when he's awake? That's
Dude at all times. He's a dude for all times.
Side?
Saddam Hussein in the dream.
Super hard.
Side on.
That guy played Saddam many times.
I'm
and
sure
it
that
was
he
so
did.
funny.
I'm sure that he did.
Probably the same guy in Arrested Development.
Yeah, I think so. Side is really hard because there's so many. I mean,
5, 4, 3,
I want to say The Stranger.
2, 1.
Sam Elliott.
He
Yeah,
was
Sam
really
Elliott.
good.
I
got a
just
pick.
like listening to Sam Elliott
Yeah.
talk.
Did you see Legend?
Did you see him in what was it? Parks and Rec?
Oh, yeah. As other Ron.
That's actually what I saw first before I
Did you
saw
see-
this.
No, funny.
so your first Sam Elliott sighting was Parks and Rec?
Yes.
Wow.
Did you see
Yeah,
Ghost
Parks and
Rider?
Rec was first. And
You
then
got to watch Tombstone,
after.
y'all.
He was the
Oh.
original Ghost Rider.
Man, listening to him talk, and even he's a good-looking man for being in his 80s and 90s. Like he is.
Well, he wasn't then, but
No, but I mean, he's one of those we've talked about this perpetually old
like
people
Maggie
that just
Smith.
like he
Yeah.
just he has.
They're
If
like,
you
oh,
go
you were
back,
born 60.
Yeah.
And that's just where you stand.
Morgan
Cool.
Freeman, baby.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
Morgan
Mark
Freeman
Freeman.
used to look young.
I mean, I saw Glory recently, and I'm like, my God. Like,
Yeah, I guess
you just
so.
don't have the
I
grays,
guess,
but
yeah,
you
it's
still
true.
look like 50.
Like, yeah.
did everybody go in
Yeah.
characters?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
qualms.
Quim
Qualms.
Quams.
Again, not a big deal. Not a big deal, but it's noticeable enough for me. I saw a lot of continuity errors,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
saw
yeah.
those too.
There was a
Saw
lot of that.
couple.
and I was to the point I was like,
But we don't count those here.
yeah. I mean, it is
Unless you
it-
want to.
It is enough for you guys to see that like he has a drink in his hand. He
I'll
doesn't
hold
have
it
a drink in
against
his hand.
you.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right.
Filmmaking's so fucking hard.
Mhm.
Though you need it's good.
Tom,
You need that's someone's job.
not
That's
bad.
literally one person's job to see that stuff.
Yeah, but we don't know what was cut out of editing. We don't know what was what.
Well, that's that one
And we
person's
also-
job to make sure it's good for editing.
Look,
we also
there's-
don't know if there
there's
was.
there's the video essay Pony Smasher made that shed an entire new light on continuity and also some part of storytelling. So I can't justify at least myself.
could have been
I'm not
like-
going to say it's not hard, but I'm going to say it's still a factor.
Mhm.
There's some people that tend to do things just like without it. It's like, oh, does that mean he get extra points? Then no.
Yeah.
So it's like, but at least they
If it
have
impacts
I'm
scripted
your-
speaking
or-
for myself.
Yeah.
I can't.
I
ever-
mean, like I say, like I don't judge it that harshly, but it's like, oh, I see it. I mean, that shows the $15 million
I mean, if their clothes
that this was
change-
made for.
yes. If
For-
their,
Yeah.
if their
So,
clothes change in the middle of a scene, that's one thing. But if a drink switches sides on a table, and
well, to me, that's
Then
kind
I
of
hate
like,
it.
That
that,
ain't my
that
bag.
usually gets me because I'm just like, stop putting things in your hands because you don't know how to, like, do that.
That's Tom's
but it's all
mole.
again,
That's
it
Tom's
could be the
mole in
editing
back
too.
Of the neck.
That could be
Yeah.
could be a different part of the scene where he always switched it every time, and that's the editor's fault.
And then it's like, well, then don't switch it every time. It's kind of like,
But
Jack
it could be
Har-
part.
It's
Anyway,
like Jack Harrington.
we don't have to.
throw-
We could
don't
It's
throw
going to
the
be a
banana.
conversation
we
that will
could
not
keep
end.
one
Well,
upping each other every
the
fucking
point
time.
is, if it can take you out of a movie, then it can be a qualm, regardless of
Like, I try not to see it, but then like sometimes they just scream at me. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Qualms. Other than that, like in terms of story, acting, performance, cinematography. I mean, the funny thing is like this is actually a whodunit story.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out what's going on. I would say, I don't know. That's a weird thing where it's like it breaks the genre in a way. So I'm not gonna put that as a qualm either. Someone else go.
What was
Um,
your qualm going to be?
No, I was gonna say like, it's kind of like they.
It's
or-
not you. It doesn't stick in a cookie cutter who done it. They go over here.
Yeah,
and
which
then
isn't
over
which
here.
isn't that's on brand
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
a Coen Brothers film. So I'm like, whatever. It's not a
Yeah.
bad thing.
But for like a typical film, like you would expect maybe a slightly more cohesive plot to kind of take you through, but then that's just like
Again, Coen Brothers.
right.
Yeah,
It's about
it's a
what
stylistic
what
choice.
you
If you
want to
watch
get out of
like
the movie.
Fargo
and what you
or Racing
appreciate.
Arizona or
Yeah,
any of
'cause,
those,
like,
none
right.
of them are
like technically a
straightforward.
proper whodunit is like you should set up everything from the first act,
Mhm.
and then as you go into the second, that's how you connect the
Proper.
pieces, and then by the third is when you come to the conclusion. Like this film, like they give you more information and more things throughout the film.
Right.
So it's not really again a whodunit. 'Cause
Right.
Again, they break the mold because it's more about
Right.
this character, and again, it's not about the plot. It's about how the characters navigate through the plot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's different.
Yeah.
I see Caitlin
Mhm,
about to pop
mhm.
off.
I am.
Let's hear some stuff.
So this is also kind of a question because I can't grow a beard.
Neither can
after
I.
trying numerous times, when he
Same.
like sucks the drink off of his stash.
I've done it 4 times since we started filming.
Ew.
It's just what it is.
Okay.
It's part
You
of
mean
it.
the
Just
you mean the little
seems-
underbite that
No,
scrapes
it's
it down?
the little like yeah.
There's little-
Yeah,
You
the
know, when he does
underbite.
the
And
thing.
then
you
the
cut it.
underbite goes over your lip, and then you just suck it. Like
Is that like a really common? That's
yeah.
a really
That's
common
extremely-
occurrence.
In
Oh,
fact, the
Unless you
point that
carry
you're
a
asking
finger-
about it is kind of like
How dare you? No.
it's so
My-
common.
my
I'm
reaction-
Sorry, look at how
Well,
much
I'll say,
nothing there
Kaylin,
is.
Kaylin, you've had a milk mustache.
It's the same thing like, oh, you have long hair and it
Sort
gets
of?
in your mouth sometimes. Is that a common thing?
Kaylin, to give you an idea,
I
my
suppose.
problem with it was that like my OCD was going off because he hadn't done it yet.
like
Like
Yeah,
it was on there too
It
long.
was
I was like,
something
hurry
about
up and
it.
suck it. Like, I was like, hurry up.
suck
I
it
was like-
now.
Here first.
suck it now.
Just tell the Big Lebowski to
But yeah,
suck it.
it's very
Only
common.
on Nerd On.
It's very common.
No,
So
I
it's like the opposite of.
It's like people with
you
bangs who
think?
need to fix their
Okay,
bangs every
yeah.
once in a while, or
But
like
that,
Yeah, I
that
think
goes further.
it was-
Like he just doesn't give a shit.
yeah.
I think
Part of
it's
it
just
too.
how long it lasted. Like it was there. It sat for a really long
what you're
time.
talking about.
It's like a couple seconds,
Sorry,
but
Tom.
like.
None
yeah.
for you. But
Well,
yeah,
it
I don't know.
happens.
It just felt like it lasted forever,
Well,
and then it was.
I
like,
love the one that was
gross.
just like there at checkout.
Well, I mean,
and he
here's the
didn't-
thing.
He never did get it.
To go further on this, so the discomfort, I get it. That's based on your like judgment of it. Like, why wouldn't he do that? He doesn't give a shit what other people think. So he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, so there's.
Well, I mean,
Drinking
it's-
half and half in
It's
a
a
store.
Yeah.
well, again, it's a character choice.
Yeah,
Like, does the dude bring the drink with him, or does he leave it at the bar?
yeah,
You know, those are character choices. With does he put it in
Mhm.
one hand and the other hand? Cork.
yeah. I guess I should say it's less of a qualm and more of like a. Is this
Question.
real?
it's
Is
like
this-
the,
It's very real.
It's the mouth click.
Yeah, it's a mouth click.
It's
And the
a-
thing
It's a
is,
mouth
you
click.
can't
It's
feel it
not
sometimes.
ruining the movie. It's not like
Also,
making me hate it or.
there's definitely
I'm
times I've
just
been
like,
eating and
this
someone
is
goes,
real.
You have something in your beard.
If
I go,
anything, it
Yeah.
might just make you not like the dude as much as you might like other characters.
Maybe.
I like to call the qualms the section where Caitlin gets uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, these are
These should
just
be your uncomfortable.
Yeah.
these are well.
Or learns about
Used
gross
to.
men's habits.
I mean, used to still is.
I
Josh.
said that's why I was like used to. What am I talking
Josh
about?
I'm getting very nervous about this, guys. And I was like, why put out this red
Are
carpet?
you nervous right now because
of
we're talking
nervous
about one of your
dick.
favorite films?
No.
Because I'm about to unleash my qualms.
Do it.
Do it.
That's good.
I don't have any. So,
Oh wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
someone else
Are you
go.
okay, Josh?
Oh, man.
I'm gonna get it over with.
Josh,
I
I
don't have any
know,
qualms.
I know that was a little harsh from Corey. Is that okay?
His
I know it's your
qualms.
favorite movie.
Are you gonna be... whoa.
No,
I don't.
Yeah, no, I don't have
I'm
any.
actually struggling. I've been struggling to find qualms. Really. If
about
anything,
gripes?
I would have liked more Jesus.
Wow, they both
Gotta see
said
the
Jesus,
follow-up
but
film
for
then.
very,
For
different, reasons.
I wanted more Jesus. I would have loved for him to be maybe slightly
That's
more
right, man.
involved with the
And
Fucking
plot,
A.
the
but
polishing.
just because I loved his character.
Is that one of
so
these?
much. Yeah,
Is that reaching?
totally reaching. It's not even a qualm, but I was just like, I enjoyed him. I would have liked to enjoy him more, but that's just like
Oh, we should check out the second film.
thinking of like
the-
things I would do different or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
The
the only
Jesus
thing I
film.
could think of. Oh yeah,
The what?
Which has
There's
like
a new film.
there's a new film.
We
it
talked
has-
about it on our update.
Yeah,
It doesn't really have much to do with.
the
It's just
Lebowski.
it's,
But
a,
it's the
it's
Jesus.
a character
It's the
and
character.
it's kind of a redemption story and an explanation of what actually happened to him. And
from not being from being a pervert.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gonna be a hard sell.
Yeah.
Hard sell. So we'll see.
Maybe watch
well, I
it.
don't want to
That'd
do
be-
a
might be worth
spoiler.
it.
Falsely
There's-
accused.
Anyway,
Never know.
But I would say, again, this is more of like a personal thing. I don't know, like this is for the time frame, right? I would like the dream sequences a little bit shorter. But the
Okay.
thing is, like, they're so well done.
it was so
They
well
are.
done.
Yeah.
Like the equivalent to what that is in nowadays is kind of like what Shape of Water was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's so well
I'm
made.
such on the other side of the coin. Like the condition sequence is like the one that I'll pay the most. Like I'll enter the room to watch more than anything else. Like that's
Huh.
Yeah.
one of my favorites.
I just love to watch it like back to front, the choreography.
And Jeff Bridges' face when he's
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. Where it's like,
It kills me.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges' face is kind of like a big sell for me. But other than that, I'm kind of just like, I'm here. I'm
Sure.
watching it. I mean, like seeing him getting like killed or almost killed by a giant bowling ball is fun. But also knowing the behind the scenes stories with the going underneath the girls' skirts. Like he brought his daughter and his wife in that day.
Yeah.
For shooting, and they're like, no, not today. Don't do that. And he's like, well, he's like, take a picture.
No.
Wow.
And then they all underneath their skirts, they put prosthetic or fake pube hair.
Uh-huh.
So they just had giant bushes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And only he could see it.
Yeah.
So just to mess
So
with
he
him
was
every take.
laughing about it. So I mean, yeah, there's stuff like that. I mean, I really like what Roger Deakins said. Roger Deakins is very a capable director of photography. His thing is
One of the best.
his job is not to make the film beautiful. His job is to make sure that he's telling what the story that the film
What needs to be on the screen.
And so like he doesn't make this film look like 2049. He doesn't make it look like Skyfall. He makes it look like a Coen Brothers film.
He makes it look like the Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Like it's
So
thing.
I mean, it's hard to find any qualms with it because it's kind of like so dug deep within its own identity that like
Yeah.
it doesn't kind of conform to any other standard of like what should it be.
Yeah.
Because like I'm not gonna ask it to be like shot like Birdman or shot like The Revenant.
Because it's not those things.
It's not, and like it does it so well in that way. Yeah, I mean that's it really.
Kayla?
And this my qualm is not necessarily, it's more of just creative differences, I suppose. I just really wasn't a fan of the dude.
Mm.
And
That was your
there-
favorite character?
I
What
know,
the hell?
that's why I said
What
I
the hell?
liked
Aspects.
aspects of the dude.
Did you like it when he
Well, you said at the
sipped the drink off of his beard?
No.
You said at the beginning that none of the characters were exactly redeemable. Not that
Not
word,
redeemable.
the words that
Like
not all of the characters were likable. Thank you.
Yeah, well,
None of the characters.
I
No,
think
thank you.
so. I immediately understood what they were going for with the dude, where it's like, this is a guy who doesn't really care. Like everything is totally fine. It all rolls. He's a pancake. Butter's gonna roll off his back. No big deal. And
Is it really that you're jealous?
No, it's not at all. But yeah, just like his decision to not be affected by anything still affected other people. Like his landlord still has to deal with, not getting rent for his complex and stuff. And that cashier is going to have to deal with that check and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, even if he doesn't care about anything, which I get is the point of his character.
He's kind of an inconvenience.
He's
okay, Big Lebowski over here.
all right.
I see you.
All right.
Yeah,
all
I
right.
see you.
But I see,
Yeah, I hear it.
but like Walt and Donnie are still like being, people in society and whatnot. And like, I get that there's like, if you want to live that like totally, dude lifestyle, I feel like there are ways to do it where you're not affecting other people
detriment?
around you. Yeah.
Well, I would say this at Havati. Walter is the kind of guy that will scream in the middle of a diner,
Yeah. No.
and Donnie is the kind of asshole that'll just forget about things. I don't know.
what?
Yeah.
Donnie didn't do anything wrong.
And fuck Donnie.
Oh, God, you are Walt.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know.
I think because the commentary is that everyone affects society in some way or another.
Yeah.
Right. And I understand the point of the dude, and I understand the like going with the flow and like, yeah, shit happens, but you deal with it however you can. And I understand that it's like maybe there are other things that they didn't tell us about of why he is in the position that he's in, and I'm all about it. I get it. It just didn't jive with me the way it was portrayed in this.
In the same vein, I would say if I'm a melange of characters in this film, I am like 60% Walt, 30% like Big Lebowski, and then like 10% rest the dude.
The dude.
the dude.
Because
Yeah.
like, and I agree 100%. Like I could see those things like in the reality that the film is trying to make, but the film, and that's kind of the thing where it's like those dream sequences allow you to kind of be like, well, this film kind of tries to break away from reality a lot of times, so you're not always looking at like these are real people in society. These
yeah,
are
they're
almost
very
like
caricature.
like they're almost kind of
Yeah.
like there's this cool thing in DC Comics called the Endless, and they are like the manifestations of what like dreams and destruction and death are. So like these are kind of like the physical embodiments of like this is the socialite. This is
Right.
like the Nam vet with PTSD. This is the nihilist. They wear leather. Like this
Yeah.
is the trophy wife who just sucks dick for $20. Like you know what I mean? Like they're
There's a
kind of
thousand.
they're
A
kind
thousand, but
of they're kind of
close.
caricatures of what we would see. So I mean, I can see where it kind of breaks the reality of like these kind of don't fit in reality.
Well, and I get that, and I like
No,
I
I'm
said.
saying I agree. I see it.
Yeah,
I see it.
yeah.
Mhm.
'Cause we're on the same page.
I see.
I don't need to say more words.
No, yeah.
I say I seen you.
Oh.
I say I seen you.
Oh, thank you.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Any more?
Cool.
That's pretty much it. Just yeah. I don't know.
I kind of will have one, but I'll reveal it during my rating, so it kind of makes more sense why the rating is what it is.
Oh.
Anyone else? Josh?
Josh is
Josh
fun.
is
No,
like,
I already
I
said
don't
that I have
have
no
none.
qualms.
Okay.
I don't have
Don't have
none.
any.
All right, Ollie. Let's say no Batman in there. Check.
No Batman. No Batman.
No,
For the record.
no MCU, no Kevin Feige,
No swell.
no characters that you already recognized. Go ahead.
There was,
So
a,
that's
there was a
our,
strong female character.
There was.
Our ratings.
It passes the Bechdel test, but no, not really. It doesn't
Yeah.
because there's no
Well, in a
dialogue
way it
between
does.
two females.
That's true.
It's
Okay,
between
alright.
two females that not
That's true.
talking about men or babies.
Yeah.
Yep.
So rating. The
Yeah.
final
So first
part
is Josh.
of the episode.
I wonder what the number will
Guys,
be.
Guys, this is the first rating we've done in 2020.
So make it fucking count.
Yeah, Josh.
This is
It's
going to
on.
set a precedent.
All right, so Josh is 5.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fine.
5.
I wouldn't.
it's
I
fine.
wouldn't change a thing about it. So
yeah.
Next is Tom.
4.3. I think this is, and I will coin one of Ollie's terminologies.
gripes.
I think this is potentially the best this film could possibly be.
Yeah.
And the film is a little boring for me sometimes.
Hmm.
And it's not like it doesn't captivate me. I don't think that the character interactions are bad, but like this is one of those films that's like you put it on with you and your friend, and like you kind of have to watch it with that friend. You can't watch it like in the middle of like it's not homogenized, right? So sometimes you watch it for you. And that at that point, it's because you know that you're investing into that kind of film. And it's not a movie. It's like, we'll see what it turns out. Like when I watch Rocky, I'm like,
All right, I'm fucking in. Like just in the first minute, and this film doesn't do that. It doesn't captivate me, where it's like I'm fucking in, and it doesn't try to be like that. But even that sense, like as a storytelling piece, that you have, an hour and 15 minutes or 2 hours long to tell the story, it kind of like really expects me to hold on to my own attention, which the film is asking me to engage, which is good. But also there's some points where it's like I'm only engaging because I know I have to, versus like there's not like a dramatic performance, or there's not like a
Right.
dramatic sequence where like I have to be brought into it, even within the subject matter.
so 4.3.
4.3.
Nice.
Nice.
Next is me. And I give it a 4.9.
Nice.
The only reason is
Wow.
because I know of 3 other Coen brother films that I just kind of pushed the envelope for me a little bit more and hit all the right kind of notes.
So those
but
ones would be 5.
possibly, or
Because
4.95.
that was a little bit of my
or-
ideology, where it's like the other ones I've watched, their Coen Brother films are higher.
Right, and there's
Mhm.
other Coen brother films I don't like as much as this. So
Oh.
this kind of sits at this is really close to being on like my top 3 list, but it doesn't quite make my top
For
3.
for
yeah.
Cohen's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coen's.
I'll say for sure Burn After Reading is definitely below this. So
I agree with that.
That
Yeah.
means anything.
Well,
Well,
is like right in the
who knows
middle,
when we do
I
the
think,
episode on it,
actually.
Tom.
Well,
Keep that rating to yourself.
keep that on
Just
the
trying to be
Nerd
as
Nation.
vague as I could. With spoiler alert, Jesus Christ.
Hell yeah.
But
Hell
yeah, so
baby.
4.9 for me for sure, because it's pretty close to being like a perfect film for me.
So I was
Mhm.
wrong.
Yeah.
Like hitting all the notes, but
Mhm.
there's just one
I
or
was wrong
two
too.
more that
Did you
Pretty
we'll
sure
talk
I'm
after
right,
the
yeah.
recording.
Next.
No, I picked Kaylin.
Yeah, you
next would
did.
be Kaylin.
So you probably
I'm
picked
probably
right.
going to win.
Oh shit!
because
I know I picked right.
Yeah.
Damn.
And that's the funny thing about my rating for this is I always base my ratings off of was how my entertainment levels within the film. And this just it missed the mark for me.
Oh shit! She didn't like the movie,
It's not that I didn't like it.
but
You
you
didn't
didn't
like
say it in
the
the
movie.
initial reaction.
Yeah,
you
so it didn't
fucking
happen. You didn't like
it.
the movie.
Canon rules. I'm sorry, I didn't make them, but I
What's
kind
the
of
rating
did.
though?
Caitlin,
it's a yes.
this whole like episode, I can pretty much get it. You didn't like the movie,
Yeah,
and that's okay,
that's okay.
for your character to say that.
But after the episode's done, we're gonna have talk. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. What's the rating?
No, my rating is 4.
Well, I put
That's
it.
still
And here's why. That's why I was like, it's not that I didn't like it. I
No, she
did
didn't like
it.
the movie. She just didn't like the instructions.
Wow. Can I have an opinion, please?
That's just like your opinion, man.
Oh my God.
Please.
So 4.
So it's a 4 because like it is a good movie. I do like the characters for what they are. It was like how they
Executed
were
well for
portrayed.
what
It
it
was
is.
so well executed. Like everything about it was great. It just wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
It didn't reach me in a way that it reached Josh or Corey or Tom or
Wait, because you're an individual?
Oh my God.
So Ollie,
So mine is also a 4.3.
Oh, twin grumps.
I was surprised
Oh, we're
there.
not even grumps. So it's Caitlin.
We had like a wrist 5 there, but whatever, it's fine.
yeah. What was
Like,
your
am
reasoning?
I-
4.3.
It's one of those movies that is just like Tom says. It's rewatchable for me. It would be a great background movie, because
For us, individually.
individually, yeah. Just because it's hard for me to like have movies in the background while I'm working on stuff. So this one,
You can tune
Like
in
that-
every now and then and be
right,
like,
and like hear the line that I find hilarious or whatever, and chuckle. But it has an upper limit of like entertainment value for me.
A
as
Josh
well.
limit.
I will give a shout out to our Nerd On Nation members, Charlotte G and Andy N, for guessing Caitlin correctly.
Wow.
You guys win.
You guys
you
win.
are
You
the
knew.
the guessiest
You
grumper.
guessed
That
Grum.
First Grump of 2020.
To see who voted for Caitlin.
Proud to
It's
be an American. Oh, sorry.
Miss Grump 2020.
I compare you to a kiss from
I'm gonna stop recording now.
on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger
No.
it
Josh
feels.
is actually-
No.
Now that your
No.
rose is a
No.
It's never going away.
Well, everybody,
It's the blue.
thank
Josh,
you.
sing us out for real.
Okay.
First baby of the 2020.
Thought we were starting a new year. Turns
Was that
out
less than
we're
10
playing
seconds?
Well, guess what?
2018.
And now that guys,
Guys,
we only bring in the good from last year.
Yeah.
And leave the
That was
bad.
it. That's
Life.
the only
Leave-
thing we bring in from last.
And that's the best.
We had
Look,
a good year.
We did.
our Nerd On Nation people literally said like, I can't hear that song without thinking of us. I'm like, hell yeah. Guys, permeating
see?
and
Ours now.
staining culture.
Oh my
Yes.
God, Josh.
Everybody at home, thank you so much for listening. What did you think of The Big Lebowski? What was your rating? Who did you think was going to be the grump? Reach out to us on social media, or you can send us emails. There's a contact thing on our website. Comments, all that kind of stuff.
Make
Slip
sure
and slide
you
in those DMs.
and smash it like you've never smashed that like button before.
And
Yeah.
also, we really like reviews. If you want to
They
give
help.
us a review, that's like making us a white Russian.
That's like your opinion, dude.
Yeah, and we love your
and
opinion.
it would be
Yeah.
great if you shared it with us. Make
Yeah.
us feel all warm and fuzzy.
Here's to you.
I love feeling fuzzy.
Yeah.
Here's to 2020, y'all.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Heck yeah.
We're doing the thing, everybody. Hey, we can.
Clink.
The two non-drinkers over there.
We just clinked non-existent
Well,
glasses.
Corey clinked for
Anyway.
all of us.
If you are new to Nerd On, thank you for listening to us. We do appreciate you. You can check out our website, nerdon.tv. It has all the information on everything that we do, all the linky links. Good stuff. One-stop shop, nerdon.tv. But yeah, let's do this 2020 thing.
Bye.
You know, yes, Nerd On abides.
Yeah.
You know the drill. As always, Nerd On!
Ending broadcast.